Hello and welcome to Poetry in Style. Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite poets, a French poet called Paul Verlaine. What I really like about him is how simple he is in his style. I remember many times in the past when I found some of his poems, they were so simple but they spoke directly to my soul. And when I felt really bad at the beginning of the day, I read one of his poems and I felt much better. He often talks about sadness and such feelings, dark moments, but with such a simple language, such simple words. And that's what I like about poetry. And I'm gonna show you a poem I really like from Paul Verlaine. And the reason why I chose that poem is because I really like it and also because they translated it into English. The title in French is Il pleure dans mon cœur. It rains, it weeps, it cries in my heart. The title of the translation, there are many translations, is It rains in my heart, which is already interesting because the translation and the original text don't exactly mean the same thing. But translating poetry is one of the most difficult things to do. But I'm going to show you the poem. I'm going to first recite the poem in French to you and then the poem in English, and we're going to analyze it. Il pleure dans mon cœur, de Paul Verlaine. Il pleure dans mon cœur comme il pleut sur la ville. Quelle est cette langueur qui pénètre mon cœur? Au bruit doux de la pluie, par terre et sur les toits, pour un cœur qui s'ennuie, ô le chant de la pluie. Il pleure sans raison dans ce cœur qui s'écœure. Quoi, nulle trahison, ce deuil est sans raison. C'est bien la pire peine de ne savoir pourquoi, sans amour et sans haine, mon cœur a tant de peine. It rains in my heart. It rains in my heart, as it rains on the tongue, what languor so dark, that it soaks to my heart. Oh, sweet sound of the rain, on the earth and the roofs, for the dull heart again, oh, the song of the rain. It rains for no reason, in this heart that likes heart. What? And no treason, it's grief without reason. By far the worst pain, without hatred or love, yet no way to explain why my heart feels such pain. So the first thing about this text, as I said, is that the translation is not exactly accurate. But that's okay, because as I said, it's very difficult to translate a text, especially from languages belonging to different families of languages. French is a Latin language. English is a Germanic language. So they work really differently. So the first thing in French is, as I said, il pleure dans mon cœur. I mean, he cries in my heart. Comme il pleut sur la ville. What I find interesting is il pleure, pleut. They are very similar words, they sound very similar. Pleuvoir, the rain, and pleurer, they sound similar, which creates a very nice poetic sound. And in English, it rains in my heart, which is the closest you can get. So, there's this thing about the beauty of sadness. And we see that a lot in our society, that sadness is shown as something very beautiful in movies, in paintings, in poetry. And I don't think there's anything beautiful about sadness, but there's something beautiful about the way you look at it. And what I find interesting in poetry is not about, I want to be sad, so I can write poems. It's I feel sad, so I'm going to write a poem. I'm going to explain what I feel so that I feel better. It happens to me in the past that I read poems from Paul Verlaine and I felt really sad. And after reading the poem, I felt much better because I felt like it was a direct communication. It's like communicating with your feelings, communicating with what you feel inside. For example, here in English, by far the worst pain, without hatred or love, yet no way to explain why my heart feels such pain. So sometimes in life we feel sad, and that's okay. But if we communicate about it, if we talk about it, if we make it beautiful, then we can feel better. And that's, for me, Paul Verlaine is one of the poets I like the most because of that. And again, I really like the simplicity of its style. So I hope you like it too. And please, if you speak French, read Paul Verlaine, really good poet.